Hey everybody, welcome to MD's preview of the Romania Musclefest Pro happening this weekend in Bucharest, Romania. How could I have any preview of any show without this guy, but especially a show over in Europe, which is his domain. Please welcome Giles Tiger Thomas.
How you doing, Ron?
I'm doing well, sir, doing well. So man, these shows just keep coming, don't they? For a year that, considering we thought no shows are going to happen this year, we're picking pace back up. It's going well.
They've all been really, really special. I mean, I can't. Every single show has been very, very. I just think there's, like I said, there's an extra appreciation for them. Even the Cali Pro that was done in a venue, and the lighting was bad, and the live stream wasn't great. The competitors were still very glad that show went ahead, and I think it's a real testament to the grit of the promoters to really carry on through with it. I mean, the British Grand Prix, what a story there. I mean, that was supposed to be on the Saturday, Sunday. And on Friday, the Prime Minister Boris Johnson announces that there's going to be a lockdown on Thursday. He moves the promoters moved the show to the Wednesday. It went ahead. A couple of competitors couldn't make it over, but the show still went ahead. And I think it's absolutely amazing. I think it's they should really pat themselves on the back for pulling that off. I mean, that was all those rearrangements were made in like 24 hours. From hearing the announcement from Boris Johnson to being the show being announced that it was on the Wednesday. It's absolutely incredible. So fantastic.
Another oddity, because of the strange situation that we've been putting with the pandemic and scheduling, is we're getting people now qualifying for the 2021 Olympics many weeks before the 2020 Olympics even happened. These traditional post-Olympia shows are happening this year before the actual Olympia. So like the UK, the British Grand Prix, James qualified for next year's Olympia when he won that. And whoever wins this show Sunday in Romania, they're going to qualify for 2021 as well.
Well, because I do a different show for the Pro League called the Hype Show, and I had Bob Chick on, and he said he would prefer it to be a qualifier for this year's Olympia. And I agree with him. I think the Romania and the British Grand Prix and the British Grand Prix should have been qualifiers for this year. I think I don't see why. I think with the Olympia being put back, they should have moved the qualifiers to be qualifiers for this year.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, and I agree with that. It is odd having post-Olympia shows where you're qualifying for a show that won't be almost for another year now, because people are going to forget all about these guys.
Yeah, but
we have had a couple.
And again, James Collins said he's not complaining because he's qualified for this year's Olympia and next year by winning Alicante and the UK, so he's buzzing, Yeah.
So I just want to let people know we are going to be doing you are going to be doing a play-by-play. My ass will still be in bed because I did some complex mathematical work here and figured out the times. So judging in Bucharest, Romania, Sunday begins for the pros. They broke it up into 3 different shows where they're going to have judging and finals and then a break, judging and finals. So 9 a.m., they're going to have women's bodybuilding, figure, and women's physique, which is 2 a.m. here on the West Coast. I'm sorry, East Coast of the U.S., 11 p.m. over on the West Coast. Show 2 begins Sunday in Bucharest at 1 p.m. their time. That's going to be men's physique, bikini, and 212. That'll be 6 a.m. here for me. I'll probably be up by then. My dog wakes up. But and the final bit, the third show, 5 p.m. for classic physique, wellness, and of course open bodybuilding. That's 5 p.m. Bucharest. I believe you're an hour behind Bucharest. Yeah, you're 5 hours ahead of me.
Yeah. Well, I believe Romania is about 1 hour ahead. Yeah, because I was there.
They're 1 hour ahead of you.
Yeah, I went there last year.
So 10 a.m. here in the U.S. So that's good news for you guys. You'll know who the winner is because you're going to do some sort of wrap up, I believe, immediately. Was that your plan?
I'm going to take it from the live stream for Global. I'll probably have to do that Monday morning now to make it into the next episode of Global because I like to keep it. I want the relevant news nice and fresh.
Yeah.
So because I'll be doing a review like I have been with the British Grand Prix for this episode of Global that went out today. I like to do the reviews while they're fresh in my mind as well.
Well, I'll do one, guys, for you guys. I'll just let you know who the winner is. I'll do it live on our YouTube, and that'll probably be no later than 12 or 1 p.m. on the East Coast because, like I said, Romania, 6 hours ahead. Woo! So we'll have the news for you pretty quickly. But let's go into the Open because we just had 2 additions to the lineup today.
Okay.
When I flipped open my phone, it's a flip phone. So I'm going to start with the two biggest names, but let's start with the first one because Regan Grimes was runner-up last weekend or 2 weekends ago to James over in London at the British Grand Prix. You just did a great video wrap-up on if you guys go to MD Global Muscle that just dropped we're recording this Wednesday. I'm not sure when this is going to post, but Giles at the end of the episode did a nice video review of that. You can look at the footage. Regan Grimes from Canada, he's coming up strong. He's already qualified for this Olympia. He clearly wants to qualify for next year's Olympia while he's at it, while he's already dieting and stuff anyway. And I don't think he's gone back to Canada in many, many weeks. He's been over in Europe for a long time. And I don't think he's coming back to Canada until he's all done with this show. But, like you said, what a beautiful shape on this guy. Certain body parts, he's got a very nice back with very low lat insertions. But, you pointed out the one thing and I want to see the same thing with Regan. I want to see more condition out of him. I want to see more crispness, really clear, deep cuts on this kid.
Yeah, it's time for him to step up now with the conditioning because, like you see, when you see the pictures and the videos of him on Instagram, you just think he looks full and round and shredded, and it doesn't quite translate to the stage, even though he's got a nice structure and beautiful shape, nice symmetry. But I'm ready for him to step up, like Steve Crookler, like Hakeem Williams, where you okay, now we see your potential. Now we want to see some real kind of. But then again, I mean, not to make excuses for the guy. I mean, he's been traveling and competing. So, I mean, I'm not expecting to see like an all-time best Regan this weekend in Romania, because if he does, then that's a real, because like I said, when you're traveling, because he got stuck in Poland, didn't he, last week? Because he competed last Wednesday in the UK, which was a last-minute thing, flew into the UK. And, when these guys are traveling, I don't know whether he was traveling by himself. I've traveled with competitors. It's difficult for them to get the food and the sleep and everything. And there's a lot of travel and a lot of things they've got to go through, go from show to country to show to country. It's very, very stressful. So if he can at least look as good as he did last week, because he did look very good, I'll be happy. But part of me just wants to see him really nail it and get that condition, because even when he was a classic, he wasn't shredded. He in fact, he looked one of the worst conditioned guys in that Olympia that year. He was.
No, he was. It wasn't the condition. It was because he was so flat.
Yeah,
he
it was.
So, he was 25 pounds down from what his physique wanted to be at, and the muscles weren't pushing out. It's just a. Well, anyway, that was a short experiment. He's back where he belongs. Regan Grimes. That's my favorite to win. Yeah, what were you saying?
Did you say he's qualified for this year's Olympia?
Yes, he is.
How?
It must have been it was on points.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's great. Now,
because remember he had done those two shows last year too. He did Romania and I think he did Japan Pro last year.
Japan or Korea? Japan or Korea?
It was one of those. I think it was Japan. But anyway, he picked up points there, and then he picked up some more points, and he's in on. He made it in on points. It was one of those things where.
Okay. Well, if he at least looks good for this one and gets some points for next year, then I'd love to see him get back to Canada, shut it down, and bring his all-time best to the Olympia. Then he really has to nail it at the Olympia, or he really needs to start looking at how he's prepping, really, because that's kind of his last chance to really prove that he can get real, true conditioning, because he has such a beautiful structure, shape. I love his back shots, his middle bicep, his rear lat spread. I wish we could give his lower lats to James Hollinshead, actually.
A lot of people.
He's really got that thick fan when he brings his arms back. It's like
it's insertions, because they insert at his hip bone. That's why.
Yeah.
Franco's did. So the other big addition today that I was really surprised at was France's Lionel Beckham. I haven't heard a thing about Lionel in a long time. Have you?
The enigma Lionel Beckham. Oh my God!
It's like he dropped off the face of the earth.
I mean, I don't know. I to be honest, I do keep up with his social media, but I can't remember seeing anything recently to even indicate. I saw one a couple of months ago, and he looked like he was kind of just off everything, training and diet, and he wasn't. He was kind of like it indicated to me that he was shutting it down for the rest of the year. So I was really shocked. I was happy, very happy to hear that he's jumping into this show. But I'll be honest, if he comes in even 85%, he's going to win this.
Yeah.
And you know what? I would be really happy to see that happen, because that means, like Samson, he's had like a bit of not a disaster year, but it's been a lot's been thrown at him, more so than maybe other people who've also had a lot to contend with. Lionel can qualify now, win this, and then he's got all next year to compete for the Olympia. It's going to be a really nice way to end the year of what has been, bad for everyone, but especially bad for him, because, I mean, what show was he supposed to do earlier in the year? Was it the Arnold?
I think it was the Arnold, and he had issues.
Oh man,
his sponsor had issues, legal issues, and that he couldn't sponsor Lionel. Lionel was just left in a lurch, shit out of luck. So it's been all year. He's been waiting to compete basically all year. And, you're right. Like all those shows that we've been to where he ended up like 5th or 6th, they were very, very strong lineups, very strong Arnolds, and nothing against these guys. But if he shows up looking the way we've seen him at those shows, like the Arnold, where he would be like fifth or sixth, he could very, very, very easily, very likely take
I
this
mean,
show.
don't forget Lionel is tall, he's wide, he's got kind of shoulder to waist like Mark Hector, that dramatic shoulder to waist. When you see him himself in the Arnold, when he comes out by himself and you see him from the front and the side, you just think, holy shit, this guy here. Yeah. And then he turns to the back and it's a bit, it's not quite. If he ever gets crisp from the back and really nails it, that's why I call him an enigma, because he's one of those guys that I just hope he comes in looking decent, wins, and qualifies for next year's Olympia, and then really, really, really ramps it up for next year, because then that will build up a lot of excitement for the Olympia. Maybe do a show in between, like New York Pro or something, or maybe we'll just shut it down till next year's Olympia, because that would be so exciting to see, the all-time best Lionel Beckham in 2021.
Yeah, geez, I've been waiting about 6 or 8 years to see the best out of this guy, because like you said, what a beautiful physique on this guy. So from the front and from the side, you're like, wow, there's nobody can beat that. It's just perfect round muscle bellies, tiny joints, just a hell of a physique. But let's move on to Samson, because Samson's still. Oh, you want to keep talking about him? Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, Lionel's still not either, because I remember when he won the NABBA Universe, I think it was 2009 or 2011. He was only in his 20s then, so there's a guy. He must be only mid-30s, so there's still, this is a guy you cannot write off. Anyway, on to Samson.
Samson's probably the longest year out of anybody competing in this show for sure. So do you even remember what the first show he had targeted earlier this season that he wanted to do?
Sure, it was Tampa, and he got refused at the airport.
Okay, still he had prepped for a few different shows, and obviously we know little Korea. So this is a guy everybody's rooting for. Yep. He had taken 5th in Spain, 6th at the British Grand Prix, which I expect him to do a little better in the British show, but. Yep. Yeah, Samson really wants to pull off a win, man. He really wants to lock it down for the Olympia, because he tried so hard to get into the 2020 Olympia, and man, we all wanted to see him do it, but it just didn't happen. But if Regan and Lionel are slipping and Samson's upped his game and condition-wise, Samson's got a hell of a physique. Samson's definitely a possible winner for this show.
Do you think?
If you're looking, Regan in shape beats Samson. He's already beaten him a few times. Lionel in shape, I would say, but looking at the other guys, if either one of those guys slips or both of them slip, yeah. Well, let's just say he's a lock for top 3, top 4 if he's looking the way he should look. But
for me, actual physique-wise and aesthetic-wise, I think Samson, physique-wise, has a better physique than Regan, but I don't think he will beat Regan, because Samson, when I saw Samson's name on the list, I was kind of disappointed, but also quite excited at the same time, because I thought after the British Grand Prix, he was hitting this riddle bicep, his side chest, and everything just looked like his front lat spread. It all looked a bit tired and flat, and I was thinking, is it just because is it because his body is genuinely completely knackered now and he's just spinning his wheels, or is it did he mistime some sort of carb? Because he hits some pose like the frontal bicep, and he looks great, but he looks like he's starting to sort of shrink a little bit now. I think his body's just had enough. But I would love to see him. Of course, I would love to see him pull the bag and come in full and hard, because he's, like I said on the review I did for the British Grand Prix, he's so close to that next level now of really, because he's got the potential to be a super pro, but he's not quite there yet. And I don't know whether he just needs to take some time off now, or I would absolutely go crazy and be crazily happy if he pulled out the bag and really nailed it for this one. But his body's just looking like it's just, even when he's posing, you see everything just looks a bit depleted and lifeless. He's lean, but he's not full and hard. His glutes, his hamstrings, it's all there. Everything's there. The symmetry's there. Beautiful shape, great posing, but everything's just starting to look a bit deflated at the moment now. So I was kind of like, does he really need to do another show? But at the same time, I'll be cheering if he comes out and he looks like he's really nailed it, because I think this has just been. But then again, what's happened to him? All these things have happened to this year. I think he's probably built more of a fan base from what happened to him than even if he'd have won Korea or won the British Grand Prix. I think he's really shown the heart of a lion, the Nigerian lion, that's what they call him. Yeah. I think he's really shown a real determination and that's really built him a fan base that I think is really going to stand him in good stead for 2021.
Yeah, a year ago, if you asked a lot of fans or just dropped that name somewhere, they'd be like, Samson Dauda, who the hell's that? It's a cool name, but I don't know who that is. But now everybody knows who he is.
Nearly there. really there.
Another guy I'd like to see step up his game condition-wise because he's got a very, very beautiful shape and structure. Jeff Beckham from the USA, Illinois, I believe. Haven't seen Jeff in a long time. Jeff's a guy I've seen many times where I really wanted to see a much better condition than what he brought. Because, like I said, he's got very round, full muscle bellies, small waist, small joints. It's just, I want to see him ripped. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, Jeff in his best condition, he's done top 5 at big pro shows. I've got 5th in Chicago, Vancouver in my head, and he did the 2017 Olympia. Looked very, very, very good there. But he's not nailed his condition, not even once in the last 3 years. And I saw a post he put up, and he said when lockdown happened, he went up to 325 pounds. He said he got very out of shape. He says, and now he's dropped down to 260, so he's dropped 65 pounds since lockdown eased. He's managed to find a gym to train at. I'm hopeful with Jeff, but he's really, I don't know. Like I've seen all these posts where he's having a cheat meal 1 week out, and you can see him having pizza with his daughter, and I'm thinking, really,
No.
are you really that ripped that you can get away with that? I mean, even if you are, I don't think you can. What I need, but Jeff is a guy with insane potential. He's 6'2", he's 260, 265, huge legs, big shoulders. He's a great addition to any contest. He's got flair. He's a great poser. He's exciting. Yep. He's a character, but I mean, he really needs to sort his conditioning out. I mean, maybe he's going to do this one just to sort of get back on stage after a bit of a shit year and something to focus on. But I hate to say it, but I'm not expecting him to turn up shredded for this one. But if he is, then fantastic, and I'll be very, very happy for him.
Yeah. I say that about a lot of guys. I say, I'm not expecting them to be in shape, but boy, if somebody that I've been waiting on to finally get in shape, once they do, I come out and give them props because, good for you. Finally, because I knew you had it in you. It's not like you were missing a body part and you never built a body part.
Do you remember the last 2 years? I think it was 2018 Arnold when Steve Cooklow turned around and he finally was shredded.
Yeah.
Akim Williams last year finally turned up 260, 265 shred instead of 250 and flat and squishy.
Right.
It's like, you're like, finally, he's done it. Finally. I get so excited when these guys finally nail it, because it's nothing worse than seeing these amazing bodybuilders, and they're so good. They've got such great physiques and they just cannot nail the conditioning, So, but when they do, it's a really, really good day.
So another guy I saw on the list, I haven't seen him in an IFBB Pro League stage in, it's been years, I want to say. Clarence DeVis from Belgium. Now Clarence, was he a former 212, I believe?
Yeah.
Turned
pro in Belgium.
So he's in the open now, and I haven't heard anything about him in quite some time. Have you?
Yeah, no, he still posts. He likes Facebook for some reason. I mean, bodybuilders don't really post on Facebook, but he's prepped by George Farah.
Oh, George Farah. Okay, yeah, George is prepping Lionel as well. I saw.
Okay. Oh well, that'd be interesting. But I've got in my head that because Clarence was supposed to do the Olympia last year, he qualified last year by winning Italy. He won the Kai Green. I'm sure he won the Kai Green Classic. I've got in my head. But he pulled out of the Olympia even though he qualified. So that's why he's probably popped out your head, because he did a small European show that wasn't really high profile. Didn't go to the Olympia even though he qualified, and now he's probably just popped out your head completely. But I've got a funny memory actually of Clarence at the 2011, the first ever Arnold Europe, and I was sat with Flex Wheeler about 3 seats away from Arnold, and his music when he came down, he did some like dramatic posing, and then he went down into like a kneeling pose, and then the music started. This voice came over and he said, "Fuck you, motherfucker!" And then he jumped in the air and he did splits. And everyone Flex Wheeler was like, "Holy shit!" He says, "You'll get suspended for that." And everyone just gasped because obviously you can't have the swearing in the music. I looked over to Arnold and Arnold was like, "Yeah!" Arnold loved it. It was so funny.
Oh, there you go.
He didn't get suspended, and I don't think he got fined and anything. But I mean, Clarence is one of those guys. I think when he started prepping with George, that's when he really stepped his game up in terms of his condition, because he was another guy that was just like, "Oh, mate, you've got this amazing physique," and because when he turned pro, it was the something cup. What's it called? The loaded cup. He turned pro for many years. It was
Poland,
a good.
I think that was.
Yeah, but he looked amazing, and then he did 212. He made top 10 at the Olympia in the 212, and then he kind of just went open, and he was 20 pounds heavier, but he was 10 pounds soft.
Which makes you wonder why he's back in open, because 212 seemed like a really good division weight wise for him. Maybe he might not even weigh that much, but maybe he's going open anyway.
No, he's really good. He's really good. He looked good at the. He looked good when he won Italy. I think last year. I'm sure it was last year. Yeah, pretty sure it was last year. He looked good when he gets conditioned. He's very good, and he only did that when he really started prepping with George Farah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I remember he was very good. I do remember that. It's just like I can't remember having seen him in a long time. Personally, I haven't seen. He's been competing over in Europe, I guess, because I haven't seen him. I think it's been about 4 or 5 years since I've seen that guy in person. So just a couple more guys I want to mention real quick. The Ukraine, there's a gentleman named Vlad Sukoruchko, and I had never heard of him, even though he was 13th in Spain. But there was a post today on Instagram where I don't know if you know Lorenzo Marenkic. He's a journalist, young guy out of Croatia, does
Right,
videos
yeah.
and podcasts and stuff. And he was hyping him up, saying, if he's in shape, he's going to win the show. And I don't know if he's going to win because he was only 13th in Spain. But boy, this guy's got a lot of muscle on him, and he's in shape.
I did him as my shout out on Global Muscle 2 weeks ago. I'm sure he's 24 years old.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, he's big, he's full, and he's part of the camel crew. He's the oxygen crew.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, then there you go. I didn't know they allowed. I didn't know there were any Russians or Ukrainians over there.
There's a guy to keep it. So he's big, he's fully shredded, he's good, young, he's got good aesthetics, great conditioning. He's one that will certainly get a few stairs.
Okay. Dr. T's good friend, pro bodybuilder from Greece, Chris Pistolas. Just give him a shout out and good luck. He's looking great.
Yep.
George sends me pictures and updates because they're out of Greece. And a couple other guys that you're familiar with was Patrick Johnson from Denmark, who I'm not terribly familiar with.
Oh, you're gonna know about him after this weekend, mate.
Okay.
This guy is a freak. He was supposed to make his pro debut at the British Grand Prix, and he couldn't get over. And I'm trying to get him on Global for next week. Actually, I was supposed to get him last week, but we couldn't schedule the days. But my God, this guy's. I hope what I'm seeing on Instagram translate even 80% translates on the stage, because I tell you what, this guy is a dark horse.
Wow.
This guy's a real dark horse. I mean, this guy is a freak. He's huge. He's. I just can't explain him. He's full shredded.
Patrick Johnson. I'll be on the lookout for sure.
Patrick Johnson, big black guy. He's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very exciting when someone that I've never heard of, they walk out there and they get first call out and they win the show. And I'm like, wow. Because you know what that proves to me? It's not all politics. It's not about paying dues and who's your sponsor and all that bullshit. How many he beat me because he had more Instagram followers. You hear all the stupidest conspiracy theories. But we've both been to pro shows where somebody just came out of the blocks and they were so good they just couldn't be denied.
Can I say one name?
Yeah.
Kamal 2018 Arnold.
There, Kamal Garni. I didn't even want to interview him. I'm like, don't waste our time with this guy. Come on, Giles.
Come on. I want to get an interview with him.
Oh, that was you. I said, all right, Giles, if you really want to, I guess that's fine. Yeah. And look, he's Olympia champion now. Last guy in the Open, I believe is he from Hungary or France? Tomas boy. He's going to hate me. Tabakyar. Tomas. Is he Hungarian?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't access the list, the password on my laptop. I can't get the name list up. No, he was a 212. He did very well in the EVL Prague show a couple of years ago, and he's moved up to the Open. And he looks like he kind of reminds me a little bit like Milan Shadak, where those guys are just slightly. They literally. It would have been too much of a struggle for him to make 212. So he's probably coming in around about 220ish. So he's a smaller guy like the Ronnie Raquel, Hidetada, literally just on that, slightly above the limit where they have to really suffer to make 212. So they go, oh, sod it, I'm going to do the Open. So there's a guy, great symmetry, great proportion. One of those guys that could really get a good look in here, So keep an eye out for him. And also another name that I believed was doing it was Andrea Mutzilla.
Oh yeah.
Mutzi, I believe he's doing it. I don't think he's not on the list, but I believe because he was 6th in Alicante.
Yeah.
I mean, big, freaky, heavy, like 260, 270, small, small waist, huge legs, freaky quads. I mean, there's a guy that could be, well, if he made 6 at Alicante, which is arguably a little bit of a tougher show, he's probably going to be better than Alicante, hopefully, because he's prepped by Mauro Sassi. So I'd like to see you probably be first call out.
Yeah, I mean, I was very impressed with that guy. Another one, I never heard of him until that show, but when he came out there, you can't ignore these people. It's a physique like that, like wow. And I believe if he wasn't in first call out, I'm pretty sure they brought him out with those guys shortly after or in the comparisons.
So my dark horse is Patrick Johnston. Keep an eye out for him.
Okay, that's your dark horse. I'm gonna go with If Lionel's 85% or better, I'm going to go with Lionel. If he's not, I'm going to go with Regan. There you have
Okay,
it.
yeah, that's safe. Yeah, that's a safe bet.
212, we both have the same prediction.
Ugh.
Angel Calderon Frias. He won the Spain show. He won the British Grand Prix. Why is he still competing? I don't know. He just wants to win everything because he's qualified. He's already qualified for this Olympia, for next Olympia.
I agree.
He's on the warpath, but man, he's great. I think he's going to be top 5 this year at the Olympia. My prediction.
I actually pull out. I'm going to show off. I actually pull out my issue of MD where I wrote in my MD Global Muscle Buzz column when I said months ago. I said this guy's going to be first call out at the 2020 Olympia. I said he's going to be top 5, top 6. I said he's really. I mean, he won because he got 10th at Olympia last year, and he was for me. Like, remember, he was one of the talks of the show. Like Patrick Moore was in the Open, but then he went to Romania a few weeks later and took his conditioning and his vascularity and his dryness and fullness to like an almost inhuman level. It was like, holy shit. He's really leveled up, and now he's just been training and prepping all year to just, like he said, he's winning these. I mean, the British Grand Prix was such an easy win for him. Alicante was an easy win for him, although that Ole Crivier was very, very good. He pushed him, but he was like half the size of Angel because Angel's just a wall of muscle. He's brought his legs up now, so he's more balanced. And this is Angel Calderon, only at about 90%, you know.
Wow.
He's cruising into the Olympia to bring his best for the Olympia. I could tell because of how he looked at Romania last year. I think he had these 3 shows planned all along. I think he had them planned because I think he knew that even at 90%, he could come in and just swoop and take them all.
So he won this show last year too, the Romania. So he was already qualified. He didn't even need to do the Spain show, but he's from Spain, so he's like, nobody's going to win the Spain show if I'm here in Spain. So yeah, I get that.
Easy win.
Angel, congratulations. We applaud your victory in advance.
Yeah.
But let's not write anybody off completely. Bulgarian Radoslav Angelov, who was second in the British Grand Prix, he's jumping in this show.
Radoslav turned pro at the 2018 Two Bros in June. It was the June 2018 show, and then I was really disappointed because he switched to classic. He switched to classic because I was like, no, and now he's come back to 212 and he
was classic a month ago in Spain.
Yeah,
he got 6th place and now he's back in 212. These guys, they jump all around.
But he looks better as a 212. I don't know what he's doing differently, but he just I think maybe the cutoff was, he had to maybe drop right down and it came off his legs, which was weak area anyway. But he was bang on for the British Grand Prix. So I expect him to be like a front runner in this show as well.
Yeah. And right behind him in the British Grand Prix was Germany's Steve Bentham, so he'll be a first call out guy, I'm sure. Jamie Dorigo, he's from Dubai, but I think is he also a British guy originally?
Yeah, he was pro at the he was originally he lived in Wales and he was a very good junior. And then he won the Flex Lewis Classic, turned pro. I think it was New Zealand he turned pro. No, he competed in New Zealand in the 212, got 4th. But I think he turned pro at one of the European last year. And he's a bit disappointed with what he's done this year, really, because he looks so good in the pictures, looks so great in the lead up. But I hope he keeps going. I hope he keeps pushing because he's got a beautiful structure, beautiful physique, and he's in such an early state of his career. And he's such a hungry guy, he's such a hard-working guy. You know this guy's just going to bounce back. So I hope he can at least be happy with how he looked for this contest, so he can at least feel satisfied that he's moved forward with his career.
Right on. And the last guy we'll talk about in 212. Speaking of Welshmen, like yourself and Robert Plant, the singer for Led Zeppelin, and Tom Jones, a lot of great Welshmen. I claim to be Welsh, depending on who I'm talking to. For example, I'll say I'm Welsh. James Llewellyn, he's been around for how long has James been a pro? I want to say about 25 years.
No, he turned pro in 2008.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, I'm way off. But has he been around the scene, the British bodybuilding scene? I know that name for so many years.
Do you know what? He competed the first year I did, because I remember when I competed in 2004, I did my first show, and I remember looking at all the other people that started competing, and he was almost this good when he started.
Wow.
So I was looking and thinking, holy shit, I hope he doesn't do the same show as me. So, it's 2004, James Llewellyn started competing. He turned pro in 2008. He's won the Nabi Universe as an amateur. He won his height class. He's done very, very well. He came 2011, he came 3rd at the British Grand Prix behind Flex Lewis and John Hodgson. John Hodgson was 2nd. And James Llewellyn was 3rd. And James Llewellyn beat guys like Sean Tavernier, some other really good. It was a really good stacked lineup. And he got 3rd place there. So that was probably his career highlight. He's done the Olympia. He's been, I want to say, 9th in the 202 Olympia in 2000. Oh, it's pushing me now. 2011 I've got in my
I
head.
don't know. I don't know how you do it, man. I can't remember like my phone number. But
The Olympia. So he's an Olympia competitor. Because he got last place at an Irish show last year, and I was really disappointed because I know that would have hurt him, you know. So to see him bounce back, looking amazing, back in shredded condition, fourth place at the British Grand Prix last week. I'm really happy to see him back. So good on you, James. Keep going.
all right. Classic. I see Classic coming down to two men, both of whom took second place in the last month. So the first guy is I keep talking about Mike Sommerfeld from Germany because I love this guy's physique. I think he looks phenomenal. Neil Hill client. Second place at the British Grand Prix. He had been third place in Alicante. Wow, what a physique on him. And then I got to look at some pictures because he must be very good. This Maxime Yades from France was the runner-up in Alicante in Classic. You're familiar with both of these guys? Do you see one of them edging the other out if they're both in top condition?
Only Mike Summerfield. I just assumed Mike Summerfield was just going to walk all the shows this year because if you look at him on his structure, his shoulder to waist, he looks like a cartoon character. Really,
he looks photoshopped. It looks fake.
Yeah, it's not.
The
it's
waist
not
is just.
like Mark Hector, the shoulder to waist ratio. You just think, is that photoshopped? And then you see him on a video and you realize it's not. They've just got crazy structure. So I really hope he. But I've still not seen him properly shredded.
Yeah.
And if
we're so picky.
That's got to be shredded.
Yeah. It's like I've heard guys. I know I've said this before, but I've heard guys say, "Well, I'm going to come in fuller, but not quite as I'm not going to be as conditioned, but I'm coming fuller." I'm like, you know what that means? Third call out, guy. Good luck. Enjoy.
Yeah, I think I gave myself diabetes doing my last Classic show because I dieted too hard for it.
Did you really?
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah,
because you weren't diabetic before.
No, but I dieted like really extremely for 26 weeks.
Oh my gosh. If that's true, a lot of these quarantine guys are going to get diabetes this year from dieting for all these shows. It didn't happen.
Yeah, I think I was. I think I overdid it, and I think I maybe caused some damage that probably can't reverse now. So never mind.
We're going to have a nephrologist on with us next time to confirm or deny your crazy diabetes theory. But women's bodybuilding, decent lineup. But I got to give this one on paper to the Alicante champion, Margita Zamalova. She was former women's physique. Women's physique. She's got a little bit bigger, but still has a spectacular shape, structure, condition. I mean, good luck all these other ladies up against Margita. She's no joke.
Margita, I mean, God, she's been... I mean, she reminds me of like a modern day Kim Chasevsky, where she's got this really pretty face, but then she's got this unbelievable shredded. I mean, how many pro shows has she won now? I mean, I think it's at least 3, 4, 5 pro shows. Yeah. I mean, she's winning them for fun now. I think she's doing an Angel Calderon where she's just going to pick up more wins and prize money as momentum for the Olympia. But I mean, she's doing them. I was surprised she switched to women's bodybuilding, but she's doing really well. So I'm excited to see what she brings to the Olympia because I honestly think from what I've seen from the winners of the women's bodybuilding and the lead up to the comeback of the Miss Olympia, I think that's the kind of look they are looking for from their like the front runners at the Olympia. So I think she'll win this, and I think I could see a top 3 at the Miss Olympia.
Yeah, certainly not out of the realm possibility. Really. Pretty strong figure lineup for this show. A lot of familiar names that have been in the last few European shows. You got Anna Banks from Poland, Rahel Kuchia from Switzerland, Megan Silvesters from the UK, correct? Yep. And Veronica Gallego from Spain, I believe she was 4th in the Alicante show. And Jane Tingle, not familiar with Jane. Where's Jane?
Yeah, Jane's been around for years. She's been around in the UK scene competing. I forget where she turned pro, but Buff Bombshell co-host Emma Heineman was the one that beat her for the pro card in 2018 at the Two Bros, a June one that Radislav won. And she's good. She's really good. Great shoulders. She's been around for many, many years. Very experienced competitor. Looks great. Megan Sylvester as well, looking very, very good. Anna Banks, she was 4th at the Arnold Classic back in March.
Yeah.
She's probably, I would say Anna Banks is on paper the front runner to win this. With Veronica Gallego, I can't say her last name.
Gallego.
She's very good. She trained legs with Brandon Curry back in February at when we took Brandon Curry on the Olympia All-Star Tour. She trained legs with them and she was keeping up with them on the poundages. It was Angel Calderon, Veronica, and Brandon Curry. If you go to go to her social media, try and locate the video and watch it because they're piling on the plates and she's not taking any off.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Because I imagine she's not 240 pounds, right?
no, and Brandon, condition, and Brandon kept going. Holy, you kept going to me like nudging me, going, "You seen this woman? She's
Wow.
amazing." And yeah, Angel Calderon, Brandon Curry, and Veronica train legs together. Check it out; it's a good video.
Yeah, you mentioned, I'm just going to throw this out there because I don't know if everyone knows that there is a new show here on the MD channel, Buff Bombshells, produced right in the next couple rooms over in the On the Rise Media Studios with Lauren Lauder and Emma Heineman. And they just did a recent episode where they just went over all their favorite, was it figure and fitness competitors?
Yep. Figure and favorite fitness girls, yeah.
Favorite fitness girls. So that's, thanks to them, thanks to you, because you're bringing a lot more coverage of the female side of the sport, which I think we were starting to lack in for sure. So this is a great boon to us. Thank you very much.
Episode 4 of their review of the British Grand Prix will be out by the time you watch this. So check out episode 4. That's their best one. It's 40 minutes. It's longer, but they really hit their stride now because, they started off well, but now they're really, really hitting their stride. So because episodes 4 and 5 are already done, all ready to go, be lined up, and they're filming again next week. They're going to incorporate interviews, training footage, kind of like basically all the things I do with Global Muscle, they're doing like a female version of. So all the things that with the technology we've got access to and the kind of content, this is going to be a female version of that, catering to all the female categories.
Perfect. Yeah, great job. Great work over there, guys. Women's physique, couple names. I had to ask you who you thought was going to win. So you threw a couple names at me, Gemma Lancaster and the woman who just won the British Grand Prix, Lenka Verakova. So yeah, she just won a show a week ago. It's that would probably make her the favorite here, I would think.
Yeah. She's got a beautiful look, that Lenka. I've never seen her before. I just saw the name and I was like, oh, because she beat Corinne Ingman, trained by JP. And Corinne, brought in like a smaller waist and everything, and the condition was insane as ever. So I was surprised to see this new name, Lenka, winning that one. So I checked her out, and she's really good. She's got a beautiful shape, very long blonde hair, beautiful, very, very pretty face, serious shoulders and arms, really nice, kind of appealing physique. She's a new face, and she's hit the ground running as well. So I'm excited. I think I would say she's the odds-on favorite after winning the British Grand Prix last week.
Right on. And last thing we'll mention real quick is wellness, because the one name there is, she's been at the Olympia and the Arnold several times as a fitness athlete, right? This is Minna Pajulati. Is she from Finland?
Yeah, she's from Finland. Yeah, she's second in she's a hell of an athlete. She came second in the World Cheerleading Championships when she was younger.
Wow. Okay.
She's been competing since 2001. She's the American Gladiators. She's the Finnish Gladiator.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she's world powerlifting records.
Good Lord.
The 3 movements. She's unbelievable. She's non-stop. I think she's done figure as well. She's done everything. I was really surprised because she won fitness at the Alicante a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. Because she did about 6 or 7 American shows last year trying to get to the Olympia because she was so determined to get the Olympia on points. Because she's on Global Muscle last week. Check it out, episode 15. Right. So 15, season 3. Check it out. She's just an unbelievable athlete. Unbelievable. She's such a hard worker, such a badass. And here she is doing wellness. I can't believe it because I think I'm sure she's done figure, physique, fitness, and wellness. So that's 4. Has ever been done.
Man, she just needs to throw bikini women's bodybuilding in there, and she's done every female division, right? Yeah. Wow. Good Lord. Well, good luck, Minna. It doesn't sound like you need it, but yeah, the wellness lineups haven't been that big yet because they haven't opened up Central and South America yet. Once they can travel, lights out. Game over, everybody. Sorry.
I think it's obviously it takes a year or two to even get the pro cards out and get the competitors out, and because you'll get competitors switching from figure, from women's physique, from fitness, women's bodybuilder. You can probably girls that probably have been scared to train their legs that just want to go for it now. So it'll take probably another year before we really start to see the superstars coming through. Oh yeah. And the big names, they really start establishing themselves like it did with classic or women's physique, or and obviously bodybuilders the athletes can actually train for that category. Then I think you'll see because I judged wellness a couple of times, head judged for Two Bros. Wellness, and at the time there was a real mixture of kind of bodies. That was when it really kind of started 2 years ago. So I think another year, and I think I've got a feeling I think it might be at the Olympia next year as wellness.
Oh, I'm sure it will. It's they debuted the division in 2020, the year of the pandemic. So travel bans and gyms closed. It was a rough time to introduce any new division. So I'm sure next year, as soon as everything's back to normal, let's hope in 2021. Yeah, I think wellness is going to come roaring out of the gate. Really, the way it should have this year if it hadn't been impeded by these other factors. But that's it, man. That's it. I'm sorry, men's physique guys. I didn't recognize any of the names. I'm sure they all look phenomenal. It's just a lot of divisions, guys, and so many spectacular athletes these days. But we are going to do a play-by-play. I should say Giles is going to do a play-by-play. Go to musculardevelopment.com Sunday. If you're in the USA and you're really a huge bodybuilding fan, get up early. It's going to be 9 a.m. the start to the judging over in Bucharest, which is 2 a.m. here for me. If you're on the west coast of the USA, it's 11 o'clock at night, and you're going to be up all damn night. But Giles, thanks for taking on that task so I can sleep Sunday night. You know I need my beauty sleep. So that's it. Check that out Sunday. And of course, if you haven't already checked out the two shows that Giles produces for us, he produces more for other people now too. Does the Ronnie Coleman Nothing But a Podcast? Yeah. Does the IFBB Hype Show? What's it called?
Show, yeah, Hype Show, yeah.
And MD Global Muscle and Buff Bombshells. Yeah. Doing a great job over there, guy.
Still want more. I want more.
One more show. That's it. Just one more.
2 more.
2 more. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, why hold you back? All right, guys. Well, thanks everybody for watching. This has been the Romania Musclefest Pro preview with Giles Tiger Thomas. We appreciate you guys watching. Hope you catch us on the play-by-play over at musculardevelopment.com Noble forums on Sunday. And thanks for watching. We'll see you then.